This is a demonstration on how to install Sieco-Tech's MCP. Let's start with what comes with the MCP Residential Base Kit. Each unit has a serial number. Make sure the serial number on the device matches the one printed on the outside of the box. That's how you confirm everything is accounted for. Inside the MCP base kit, you'll find the rain hood, the data collection unit or the DCU, the meter module, and the current transformers, often referred to as CTs. Let's open the DCU and the meter module. Use a screwdriver to loosen the screws on the door enclosures. You can find the electrical safety certification labels and DCU serial number on the left side and knockouts all around. Let's take a closer look at the DCU and the meter module. You'll see the communication cable passing through the knockout, the DCU user buttons, and the terminal cover on the meter module. This is where the installation verification seal goes. Let's unscrew the terminal cover to take a closer look at the terminal card. You'll also see the CT and voltage terminals. The black port connects the first 2 meter points, the green port connects the next 2, and the yellow port connects the last 2 meter points. On the back of the meter, the pins connect directly into the terminal card. It's critical these pins line up correctly. If they're not aligned, your readings will be inaccurate. Here is the sealing hatch. The accuracy verification seal is applied here. When unboxing the MCP residential meter module, note that separately sold meters include additional components inside the 12 CT cable packaging, a voltage jumper, and a connector for communication between the DCU and the meter. Now, let's look at the knockouts. There are several knockouts surrounding the module. These knockouts are typically removed to pass the cables that need to be connected to the attached module or DCU. These 2 knockouts are for the CT cables or alternative voltage supply. These 2 knockouts are usually reserved for the voltage jumper and the meter communications jumpers. All required knockouts should be removed before mounting the DCU and meter modules to the wall. Removing knockouts after the units are mounted can be difficult and may risk the following: damaging the enclosure or doors, creating misaligned or incomplete openings, scratching or damaging surrounding surfaces, or injury from tools being used in tight spaces. Preparing the knockouts beforehand ensures smooth cable routing, proper alignment, and safer installation. This is the first method for removing a knockout. You can use any small blunt punch tool, paired with wire clippers or a hammer. Before you start, turn the enclosure door to a 90-degree angle and remove it. This prevents the door from breaking while you work. Remove the terminal cover and the meter itself. This prevents any damage when you punch out the knockouts. Place the blunt punch tool at the edge of the knockout, which has the most support adjacent to it. This creates the opening where your cables will pass through. Another method is to use a drill with spade drill bits. The required sizes are 7/8 inch and 1 1/8 inch. Ensure the meter and terminal cover are removed before drilling to prevent damage. As you drill, the knockout will break away, but there may be rough edges left behind. You may need to use a rounded file to smooth out any sharp edges and remove any debris that might prevent your fitting from passing through. This step is important because the sharp edges can damage your cables. To keep things clean, you can place a bin directly under the module while drilling. This helps catch debris and avoids a mess. To attach the modules, line up the notches and slide them together. You'll hear a click, which confirms the modules are locked securely in place. To detach the modules, insert a flathead screwdriver or a cable tie between the clips where the modules connect. This creates just enough pressure to release the connection. If the door is attached and feels unstable or at risk of breaking, simply remove it by tilting to a 90-degree angle. Once the notches are released, lift the module straight up. You may need to wiggle it slightly as you pull. After the module is removed, simply reattach the door enclosures. Before mounting, remember, all knockouts and door enclosures should be removed from the modules. This prevents damage during installation. Each module has 4 mounting holes. 2 number 8 screws per module is sufficient to secure the MCP to the wall. If you're mounting multiple meters, it's best to have an extra person to hold the modules while you drill. If you're working alone, mount one module at a time and slide each additional module into place individually. The wiring sequence shown in this demonstration is done on a table for clarity. In an actual installation, all wiring should be completed after the DCU and meter modules are securely mounted on the wall. This ensures proper cable routing, avoids unnecessary strain on wires, and prevents damage to components while handling the devices. Once the meter modules are attached, it's time to connect the communications jumpers and voltage jumper wires. Make sure each cable is connected to the correct module. For a daisy chain setup, the voltage connection starts at the bottom using the removable voltage terminal that comes with the DCU base kit. The voltage connection then runs through the meters ending at the DCU using the 3-phase voltage jumpers supplied. The BX cable sequence is as follows: A red, B black, C blue, and white. These connect to the green connector on the voltage terminal block. Remember, the DCU has its own 12-volt power supply to power the meters. The communication jumpers carry both power and communications from the DCU to the meters. Before passing the BX cable through the knockout, place the fitting and ring on the cable. Next, pass the BX cable through the hole. Make sure the fitting is tightly screwed onto the BX cable. The BX grounding wire is generally not required in a plastic enclosure and can be cut off. Ensure no wires are exposed outside the module to prevent tampering or damage. Wires inside the module should not block or interface with the 3 ports in the terminal card. To connect a DCU to the internet, plug a Cat5 communications cable into the correct port. The top port supplies power and communications from the DCU to the meters. The bottom port connects to the building's Ethernet network. Ensure each cable is connected to its correct port. Next, place a 3/4-inch 2-screw cable clamp fitting onto the CT cable. Then, pass it through the knockout. Plug them into their corresponding ports. Ensure wires are moved out of the way when closing the terminal cover to prevent damage. When you plug in the BX cable, the LED lights turn green. Within a minute, the DCU screen powers on, showing the serial number and the main menu. To connect a meter, press and hold the button on the meter until the LED begins blinking rapidly. It will blink slowly first. Hold until it blinks rapidly. If you don't press and hold the button before installing, the DCU may detect the meter but will display an error message when installing. Make sure only one unassigned meter is connected at a time before scanning. The DCU only supports installing 1 meter at a time. If you connect several uninstalled meters, an error message will appear. From the DCU main menu, go to Communications, Module Installation. Select Scan for new module, then choose Install. To confirm the meter is connected, go to Main menu, Communications, and then select Module Comms Test. The installed meters will be listed by a serial number. If you need to uninstall a meter, press and hold its button until the LED blinks rapidly. Go to Main menu, Communications, Module Installation, and then uninstall a module. Select the meter you want to uninstall. Slot 1 is the first attached meter, slot 2 is the second, and so on. To confirm that the meter is uninstalled, perform another module comms test. To read a meter, go to Main menu, Meter Readings, select the meter, then choose Instantaneous, Energy, or Demand, depending on what you need. The top of the screen shows which meter you're reading. Use the left and right arrows to cycle between meters, and up and down arrows to view additional details. The meter has 3 LED indicators that show different statuses. If the top LED is flashing green rapidly, that means the meter is in installation mode. If it's blinking normally, it simply means it's recognized by the DCU. If the middle LED flashes yellow, that particular meter is the one currently being read among all connected meters. If the bottom LED flashes a red light, at least one CT is reading negative power, meaning that it is either installed backwards or on the wrong phase. To view manufacturer information, go to Advanced and then select Manufacturer Information. You can view DCU info. Here, the DCU IP address is displayed. View this setting to confirm that the DCU is connected to the building's Ethernet router. Finally, fill out the configuration sheet as needed. The most critical fields are highlighted in yellow.